I think the big aha that I had in my own journey is like, if we're not doing things sustainably, sometimes there's just not a good reason for it. Sometimes it's because nobody has thought to raise their hand and give themselves permission to be the person to go work on the problem and solve the problem. And in my case, like, for my backstory of how I actually became a full-time sustainability professional, it very much started in a similar way, but in a different kind of format. So, as I mentioned, I spent about 7 years at Gartner. My first four were kind of writing research reports for heads of IT. I don't know how to code. I don't know anything about IT. So I was kind of like getting by, doing my thing. But then I eventually switched over to something I knew a little bit more about, which was supply chain. And my job was effectively an events manager for the supply chain practice. So all these heads of supply chain from all over the world were clients of my company. And I was the guy in charge of the agenda of like, hey, what are these people going to meet and talk about? And so I kind of like talked to my boss and I was like, so I can make them talk about anything? He's like, yeah, as long as it's valuable to them. I'm like, sounds good. Climate it is. And so every single one of my events after that point had a huge, sustainability climate component to it. And we weren't doing it not because people said, "No, that's not allowed." No one had just thought to raise their hand and say, "Hey, what if we try this out?" And in my case, the good news is the clients loved it. They really wanted to talk about this stuff. So it was a value add to the company as well. And that became that little snowball effect for me, building the personal brand along with this new value prop for the company, being able to then advocate. I reached out to the head of communications of the CEO and I said, "Hey, we got to do a video on all the good stuff we're doing on sustainability at these events." And so I got to do like a video for the CEO that the whole company got to see. And nobody told me I couldn't. No one had ever just thought to say, what if? What if I give myself permission? And I just, in my case, got lucky that one of my clients was leading supply chain for Microsoft's consumer hardware. And eventually she's like, hey, I know that you're an events guy. I know that you don't like have an actual tech background, but I like your gumption. Do you want to come start my sustainability team and see what happens? And so that was 5 years ago. But it all came down to doing exactly what Shruti said. It's just like someone's got to raise their hand, and there's not a good reason why some people aren't sometimes. And if we give ourselves that permission, ooh, we got opportunity here.